Yo, I'm sorry it took that long to make this list. Normally, I would have some excuses, like I want to make it as best as possible. That's why it took me so long. But the truth is, I just got stuck playing Batman Arkham Trilogy. Anyway, here's my best anime I've seen in 2023. And again, starting this list with Hell's Paradise. I don't want to hear it again. The fucking boo-hoo. How exactly is it similar to Tatsuki Fujimoto, you fucking inbred? You have no idea what you're talking about, you fucking sea patient after lobotomy. Okay, fine. Here it is. Animation, amazing. Voice acting, perfect. Visuals, stunning. Overall, I really enjoyed it. It was well done anime, and I'm not gonna say more. Otherwise, you're gonna eat me alive. Very good, very nice anime. Move on. Okay, as much as I shit on Jujutsu Kaisen, Shibuya arc was just simply amazing. I still stay by my statement about the way too much unnecessary exposition, but even I have to admit that the animation is excellent and the animators definitely did see their families and get properly paid for their overwork. Don't worry, I see the good parts of Jujutsu Kaisen, but as well, I will say the bad parts. After all, this is my list. Of course, it's gonna be subjective, but don't worry, I'm not like IGN giving it 4 out of 10. You may or may not know that I, Nitenn, like to watch and read a lot of shit, otherwise called isekai. That's why when there is a really good one, I will never stop talking about it. And Mushoku Tensei being the best isekai I've ever read, the adaptation of School arc was simply magnificent. And having this slow and boring arc is just preparation for the despair that is yet to come, and it also plays to the role of more character development and world building. Mushoku Tensei is simply the best, and I'm one of those people that liked and appreciated those boring and calm moments. But even with all that glazing, there was definitely more they could have done with the anime, as this was the worst arc in the web novel, so there was definitely a room for improvement that did not happen. And also, why the fuck did they change the opening of being an actual opening and not part of the anime itself? That was the cherry on top. Why the first season was so amazing? Why change it? Sherlock Holmes in 19th century with paranormal creatures, with main characters like half man, half Oni, girl that will cut your dick off if you just breathe, and talking head. Fucking underrated mystery detective anime that starts as some amazing demon fighting action, but the truth is that it is well done detective story uncovering all sorts of murders involving paranormal creatures, as well as having amazing demon fighting action. Huge problem with detective shows is that I have to feel like I'm part of the investigation, and even I, hentai consuming degen, can solve this mystery, or at least all the clues make sense. And this anime not only makes really interesting detective part where you feel the satisfaction when all the clues just comes together, but they also combine it with really underrated action. Let's be honest, there really is not a single horror anime that you can take seriously. There are thrillers, dramas that blows my mind, but those are not horrors. They don't have any scenes that will make me uncomfortable watching or jump scares that will make me shit my pants in my 20s. But then Dark Gathering was like, let me introduce myself. And it drops the most unpleasant episodes nose to man. And there was a really good reason why I didn't watch it at night at 11 PM when the new episode dropped. Zoma 100 was a spectacular cinematography spectacle, where I enjoyed way more the new unique ways of telling a story than the actual zombie story itself. Yeah, it's definitely interesting anime portraying yet another story about zombies that has some memorable and favorite characters, but I was stuck at looking at the different aspect ratio changing depending on the timeline and scenes, as well as using high and low contrast colors, again depending on the character's moments in life. And how could I not mention the beautiful camera work? Someone please get this cameraman a raise! Everything about this anime when it comes to the methods of storytelling using interesting and new ways of movie making in anime is something that I will definitely see and appreciate those bold moves that not many studios wants to take. The only criticism that I have is, I don't know, maybe would the fucking release already finish work so that I don't have to wait when it's on 2 months hiatus? Why do you think I never watched Nier Automata anime? I fucking wonder. Anyway, fantastic show, fuck the hiatus, and the cameraman was absolute carry. I've already learned that when there is happy in the title, then I should expect some brutal drama where there is not even a single drop of happiness or satisfaction. Happy sugar life, happiness, fuck that one. And now it's My Happy Marriage. It pains me to just remember it, to remember the absolute terrorism towards the main character. She lost her mom in very young age, and her new mom is this wench that creates a living hell for her and treats her like an object. Not like, what the fuck? She literally is an object to be stepped on just because she doesn't have any powers. Yeah, did I even said that there is magic in this show? Anyway, I just hope that in the second season they will finally let her live her own life and no one will surely use her for his own advantage. Surely it's gonna be finally the happy part. Promised Neverland is example how to take good mystery in manga medium and transform it to amazing mystery in anime. And the reason why is a huge usage of camera. They are playing with the camera motion and angles so much, being it the static camera that is deliberately behind a bush or a window, or is just way too far from the characters as if someone is always listening to their conversation, or the dynamic camera following the characters, extending the shot and creating scary atmosphere and tension is a brilliant way of telling your mystery story. I would also say things like usage of sound to create silence, the contrast of the dark orphanage and brighter outside world just to play with the colors, or the expressions and visible fear. But that will be talk literally for hours. Plus, I'm already working on a video about Promised Neverland where I will say absolutely everything. That was supposed to be finished last year, but it's just taking me so long to perfect it. It's always nice to revisit animes that I started with in 2018, and No Game No Life was always in my top 10 animes of all time, and really, nothing changed. Yeah, the game gets weirder and weirder as the time goes on, and from simple counting cards to literally forgetting about physics and probabilities, but the story and jokes still holds to this day, and it still has, in my opinion, the best art design ever. But yeah, sometimes I question the decision of, was it really that necessary to sexualize 11 years old sister? I don't even know what makes this anime so good, and the more I try to think about it, the more I'm lost. Sure, it has really amazing animation, but animation is not all. Maybe it's the setting of the Chinese palace in China, not really China, or the great detective story about medicine. Well, actually all of it. But what stands out the most of all of them is the main protagonist. She's not over-sexualized or has big personalities, but she's still the best girl of that year, just thanks to the way she is. She's passionate, funny, not seducible, and probably fun of God slap. Mao Mao is just a well-written, believable character that fits amazingly into this anime. Please never change. One of the genres that I like to watch but not actively looking for is romance. But romance comedies that are perfectly done are so fun to watch. And 100 Girlfriends just take this genre and absolutely spits on it with the best idea ever. Every character is lovingly made and unique. You know that she's tsundere, she's kudere, she's to protect, she's to make your dick confused, and she's the one not to put your dick in. And not to mention how many pop culture references are in this show. And now when watching The Shining, I cannot unseen the scene from the anime and not be breaked up. Thank God this anime exists so that I can finally say that this is the best romance comedy anime and Karashi Kanojo is the best romance comedy manga. Okay, how do I summarize this so that you won't fall asleep right after I finish this sentence? Are you still awake? Good. Me finally watching the first and second part of Danmachi 4th season, I realized that every new season is better than the previous one, and 4th season just brought something that even after a whole year, I still remember to this day. Yes, Danmachi as a whole has pretty childish story with main character being powered with never giving up and friendship. Sure, some of the scenes of Bell Cranel appearing at the last moment to save the day looks hella cool, but you have already seen that in any other power fantasy shonen anime. So what makes this season different? Is it the more darker story? Is it the new and interesting characters getting more screen time? Is it the amazing animation or even one of the best soundtracks? Well, what about voice acting?
あ、違うか。自分の手で仲間をぶち殺したんだっけね。たまれたまれたまれたまれたまれたまれたまれたまれたまれ
Sayori Hayame, just thanks to her voice, created a character. You can hear just from the voice every single feeling. The depressing realization, the hopelessness, the disparity. She's angry, then she's scared, as well as having PTSD from her past incident. How she cares about Belle's safety more than anything else. Just this scene with Ryu made this for me the most memorable moment and the best voice acting performance of that year. And I could also say that thanks to this scene, I was captivated to Ryu's character. I wanted to know more about her. What happened to her that she is in that state. That's why the second part that is more about Ryu and her development and letting off the past was more powerful. As well as having the most brutal episode in all of power fantasy shows. How the fuck does this episode got into Danmachi? I guess this is for the first time I'm actually glad this video took me that long and that procrastination is something pretty good. Originally, Shangri-La Frontier was supposed to be in honorable mentions, but then I saw this episode. I'm not pretty sure what it was, but something just felt odd. Something I just couldn't figure out why this isn't one of the best animes from 2023. I mean, the manga was awesome and the adaptation is as well really good, but why I almost didn't even include it here? Was it because my brain is just melting from spending way too much time in League again? Or probably it was because of the faces that just looks like straight out of a hentai. But the story about the best game ever made was engaging. The characters were funny and fits into the story, how they interact and complement each other perfectly. And this anime also has one of the most badass moments. No, it's not this scene, even though they really did a justice to this panel. I meant this scene. I would never imagine, not even in my wildest dreams, to see checked Yakuza Bunny do blacksmithing while also singing. Well done. The biggest surprise was definitely Heavenly Delusion. It just came out of nowhere, dominated the whole spring season, and left us with absolutely obliterated hearts. The studio behind it, Production IG, did amazing job with the animation. The story was definitely confusing as fuck, given the fact that there was never anything explained. But when you just pay attention to the absolute minuscule details, holy shit, it just clicks. And it's just so satisfying and sad to know the actual timeline, and it just brings even more depression when following the main characters and their journey. Speaking of the main characters, the interactions that Kiruko and Maru have feel genuine. You actually see two people spending time with each other, and this is what makes Heavenly Delusion great anime, having enjoyable and believable characters in a really confusing world. Anime adaptation of realistic drama of entertainment industry and good and bad side of social medias. I've already talked about Oshinoko in my best manga of 2023 video, and it's essentially the same thing but in anime format, bringing life to the story with something that manga can never do, which is sound. The manga is already perfect, and the anime adaptation just shows how much can anime add to storytelling. With all that said, I have yet to finish last 3 episodes. Absolute classicos, just some shows that I did not include in this list but are worth mentioning. Like Konosuba, only Megumin season. It may not be the best Konosuba, but again, I'm the guy who watches the OVAs and rank them all 10 out of 10. So any Konosuba anime is automatically the best. Then Attack on Titan, final season, final part, part 1 and 2, whatever, it finally ended, and again, many people disliked the ending. Now I'm gonna be completely honest, I only saw the absolute ending where Eren dies, and I did not saw at all the first part and only the ending of second part. But I kinda don't care, because I actually read the manga and experienced the ending there, and in complete honesty, I like the ending. I don't know why are people so mad about it and has to harass the author Isayama when he really didn't had any power how the story goes. After all, Eren was the mastermind behind all it. And lastly, I have something that would be number 1 if the number 1 anime did not exist. But for obvious reasons, it's in honorable mentions. Because Avatar Aang is not an anime, but it's the best Western show that takes its inspiration from animes and just fucking perfect. I'm definitely gonna do a video about it, because I have so much to say about Zuko and Azula fight. This is for the 12th more million time you are hearing me talking about Sousou no Frieren, and I don't care. Not only that I love the manga, but the anime adaptation shows me how much it adds to the story using just a simple thing called sound. I've already stated that the best part of Sousou no Frieren are those, I will call it time skips, and the addition of Evan Cole's soundtrack just brings way more weight to those nice, slow and boring moments. You may not have this as your best anime because of the really slow pacing, lack of action, or just it's not your type of story. But for me, Sousou no Frieren is exactly what I'm looking for in storytelling. Every character has its well-written story, every character gets his own share of screen time, and every boring moment adds to our understanding of the character. I've already said this multiple times, but I'm gonna say it again. There is just so much to talk about, from just the animation, the voice acting, the soundtrack, and why I see it as the best anime of all time. But I don't have 2 hours to explain it, so just move on and simply remember that Sousou no Frieren is my number 1 anime of all time.